You're so predictable, Callahan. You can't even pretend to have a personality of your own. Victoria's words echoed through the Bellevue Hotel ballroom like a slap in the face. I felt my stomach sink, that horrible sensation of being naked in public, even though I was impeccably dressed in my rented tuxedo. The worst part wasn't the humiliation itself. After all, my fiancée had just called me a puppet in front of half of Boston's high society. The worst part was realizing she was right. I was predictable. I was a doll in my family's hands, and that arranged marriage happening in 3 weeks was just more proof of it. But that was 5 days ago. 5 days that feel like 5 years. Now I'm sitting in my office, staring blankly at the computer screen without processing a single word of the financial report I should be reviewing. Because all I can think about is her, Rowan fucking Delaney. The girl with fire-colored hair and eyes that seemed to challenge the entire world. The girl who appeared out of nowhere at last week's charity gala, pulled me by my tie, and kissed me like her life depended on it. The kiss lasted maybe 10 seconds, but it was enough time to turn my existence upside down. I didn't know her, had never seen that face before. And believe me, it's the kind of face nobody forgets. Freckles scattered across her nose, a crooked and dangerous smile, that chaotic energy that made you want to both run away and get closer. "Sorry for the drama," she whispered in my ear as she pulled away, her red lipstick slightly smudged. "My ex is right over there, and I need him to think I'm completely over him. You were a champ." And then she just left, crossed the ballroom with that infuriating confidence, leaving a trail of vanilla perfume and absolute chaos. Didn't even give me time to process what had happened. Didn't even give me her number. Victoria found me 2 minutes later, her eyes narrowed in pure disapproval. "Who was that person?" "Nobody," I lied. "I think she was drunk." But Rowan wasn't drunk. Her eyes were perfectly focused, calculating even. She knew exactly what she was doing. Used me as a pawn in her game and disappeared like smoke. And since then, I can't get her out of my mind. I try to focus on work. I try to focus on the wedding preparations. Victoria has spreadsheets, timelines, color codes for the damn napkins. I try to be the obedient son I've always been, the proper executive who wears gray suits and makes sensible decisions. But at night, when I close my eyes, all I see are those green eyes staring at me with that mixture of desperation and amusement. I taste her lipstick. I hear her low laugh when she noticed my shocked expression. My phone vibrates. Message from Victoria. "Did you confirm with the tailor? We need to adjust the tuxedo. Dinner at 7 at my parents' house. Don't be late, Callahan." Not even a please, not even an emoji. That's Victoria. Efficient, organized, completely predictable. Just like me. The irony makes me laugh alone in the empty office. My assistant probably already thinks I'm having a nervous breakdown. And maybe I am. Because in 3 weeks I'm going to walk up to that altar and marry a woman who treats me like an item on her to-do list. I'm going to fulfill my role as the exemplary Callahan son, unite 2 fortunes, make my father proud. And I'm going to spend the rest of my life wondering about the fire-haired girl who kissed me for 10 seconds and completely messed up my perfectly planned existence. The worst part of it all? I don't even know her last name properly. I only heard someone yelling Rowan Delaney from across the ballroom that night. But I'm going to find out. Because for the first time in my predictable life, I want to do something completely insane. I'm doing something incredibly stupid. It's been 2 days since I sat in my office obsessing over a girl whose last name I barely know, and now I'm standing outside a dive bar in South Boston at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday night. The neon sign flickers Finnegan's in electric blue, and through the grimy window, I can see it's exactly the kind of place where someone like Rowan Delaney would belong. All exposed brick, mismatched furniture, and the kind of authentic chaos that Victoria would have an aneurysm just walking past. My Mercedes looks obscenely out of place on this street. I look obscenely out of place on this street. But I'm here because I did something even stupider yesterday. I hired a private investigator. Actually, I didn't even need to hire one. I have an entire legal team at my disposal. 3 phone calls and 12 hours later, I had a full dossier on Rowan Elizabeth Delaney, 27 years old, freelance photographer. Lives in a brownstone apartment in South End that she shares with 2 roommates. Grew up in Providence, Rhode Island. Studied art at RISD. Has a younger brother in the Navy. Parents divorced when she was 12. No criminal record, no outstanding debts, no social media presence worth mentioning. Just an Instagram account with 847 followers, full of striking black and white photographs of the city. And she frequents Finnegan's. According to her credit card statements, which I absolutely should not have access to, but money opens doors that should probably stay locked, she comes here every Tuesday night. The guilt is eating me alive. The excitement is stronger. I push open the door and immediately get hit with the smell of beer, fried food, and something that might be hope or might be desperation. A jukebox in the corner is playing Tom Petty. The bartender, a massive guy with a beard that could house a family of birds, eyes me suspiciously. "You lost, buddy?" "Just looking for someone," I say, scanning the room. And then I see her. Rowan is sitting in a corner booth, her red hair pulled up in a messy bun, wearing ripped jeans and a leather jacket that's seen better days. She's laughing at something a blonde girl across from her is saying, her whole face lighting up in a way that makes my chest tight. She looks nothing like the polished woman who kissed me at the gala. She looks real. She looks free. She looks perfect. "Holy shit," the blonde says loudly, noticing me. "Rowan, isn't that the guy you—" Rowan's head whips around so fast I'm surprised she doesn't get whiplash. Her green eyes go wide, then narrow, cycling through surprise, confusion, and what might be panic in about 2 seconds flat. "What the hell are you doing here?" She stands up, crossing her arms defensively. Up close, I can see she's wearing a faded band t-shirt under the jacket. The Clash. Of course. "I needed to talk to you." "So you stalked me?" Her voice is sharp, but there's something else underneath. Fear, maybe. Or interest. The blonde is watching us like we're the best reality show she's ever seen. A couple of guys at the bar are starting to pay attention too. "Can we talk? Outside?" "I don't think—" "Please." Something in my voice must convince her because she grabs her jacket and storms past me toward the door. I follow, very aware of multiple sets of eyes tracking our exit. Outside, the November air is bitter cold. Rowan spins to face me, and in the streetlight, I can see the freckles I've been dreaming about. "Start talking, suit. And it better be good because I'm about 2 seconds away from calling the cops on your creepy ass." "You kissed me." "Yeah, and you clearly can't let it go." "It was just a kiss, rich boy. Get over yourself." I can't. The words come out more desperate than I intended. "I've tried. For 5 days I've tried to forget about you and I can't. You show up, turn my entire world upside down, and then just disappear like it meant nothing." It did mean nothing. I needed to make my ex jealous. Mission accomplished. The end. But her voice wavers slightly. "Bullshit." I step closer and she doesn't back away. "If it meant nothing, you wouldn't look so freaked out right now. If it meant nothing, you would have just ignored me in there. You want to know why I'm freaked out?" Her eyes flash dangerously. "Because I kissed a random stranger at a party, and now he's tracked me down like some kind of psycho. Because apparently money can buy anything, including someone's privacy. Because—" She stops, her breath coming faster. "Because what?" "Because I can't stop thinking about you either, and I really, really wish I could." The confession hangs in the air between us like smoke. "I'm getting married in 3 weeks, I say, and it feels like swallowing glass." Her laugh is bitter. "Of course you are. Let me guess. To that ice queen who looked like she wanted to eviscerate me with her eyes. Victoria. And it's complicated." "It's not complicated. You're engaged. I'm a mess. You should go back to your perfect life and forget this ever happened." She turns to leave. It's arranged. The words stop her. The marriage, our families. It's been planned since we were kids. I don't love her. She doesn't love me. It's a business transaction. Rowan turns back slowly. That's the saddest thing I've ever heard. Probably. But that's my life. Predictable, controlled, completely mapped out. I run a hand through my hair, messing it up for probably the first time in my adult life. Until you. Don't do that. Do what? Don't make me the reason you blow up your life. I'm not some manic pixie dream girl who's going to save you from your boring existence. I've got my own shit to deal with. Like your ex? The one you needed to make jealous? Her jaw tightens. That's none of your business. You made it my business when you kissed me. We stare at each other, the tension crackling like electricity. Someone walks past us on the sidewalk and we both jump, the spell breaking. This is insane, she says quietly. You need to go home to your fiancé. I know. And I need to forget you exist. I know. Neither of us moves. Callahan. Victoria's voice cuts through the night like a knife. I spin around to see her stepping out of a town car 20 feet away, her face a mask of fury. What the hell are you doing here? And just like that, my two worlds collide in the worst possible way. The thing about car crashes is that they happen in slow motion. You see it coming, you know it's going to be bad, but there's nothing you can do to stop it. Victoria's heels click against the pavement like gunshots as she approaches. She's wearing a cream-colored coat that probably costs more than most people's monthly rent, her blonde hair perfectly styled even at 11 p.m. Everything about her screams control, precision, perfection. Everything about Rowan screams the opposite. I asked you a question, Callahan. Victoria's voice could freeze hell. Her eyes dart between me and Rowan, calculating, assessing the threat level. Who is this? Nobody, Rowan says before I can speak. She's already backing away, hands shoved in her jacket pockets. Just someone who got lost looking for... You're the girl from the gala. Victoria's eyes narrow to slits. The one who threw herself at my fiancé like some kind of desperate... Careful, I interrupt, and my voice comes out harder than I intended. Don't finish that sentence. Victoria's head snaps toward me, shock replacing fury for just a moment. In 7 years together, I've never once contradicted her in public. I've never raised my voice. I've been the perfect gentleman, the obedient partner. Excuse me? I said be careful. I'm shocked by my own boldness, but I can't seem to stop. You don't know her. You don't know anything about what happened. I know she kissed you in front of 300 people. I know she embarrassed both of us. And I know you're here, in this... She gestures around with disgust. This place, with her, when you're supposed to be at home reviewing the seating chart for our wedding. Rowan laughs, sharp and bitter. The seating chart, Jesus Christ. You people are unreal. Excuse me? Victoria turns her Ice Queen stare on Rowan. Who do you think you... I think I'm someone who just realized she accidentally kissed someone's property. Rowan looks at me, and there's disappointment in her eyes that cuts deeper than any of Victoria's barbs. That's what you are, right? An asset. A chess piece. Her perfect little husband-to-be who does what he's told. That's not... It is, though. She's backing toward the bar entrance. And you know what? You two deserve each other. Enjoy your color-coded napkins and your business transaction marriage. Rowan, wait. But she's already pushing through the door, disappearing into the noise and warmth of Finnegan's. The blonde from earlier appears in the window, shooting me a look that could peel paint. Happy now? I turn to Victoria. No, actually, I'm confused. Bewildered, even. She crosses her arms. The Callahan I know doesn't sneak off to dive bars in South Boston. He doesn't track down random women. He certainly doesn't defend them against me. Maybe you don't know me as well as you think. Apparently not. She studies me like I'm a stranger. Is this some kind of pre-wedding crisis? Cold feet? Because if you need to get it out of your system... Get what out of my system? This rebellion. This juvenile acting out. She waves a hand dismissively. Sleep with her if you want. I don't care. Just be discreet and get it done before the wedding. I won't have any scandals. The casual cruelty of it steals my breath. You won't have any scandals? We have a prenup. We have an agreement. What you do with your time is your business, as long as it doesn't affect our arrangement. Her phone buzzes and she checks it, already moving on. I have to go. My mother is having a crisis about the flower arrangements. We'll discuss this tomorrow at the venue walkthrough. Don't be late. She starts to walk back to her car, then pauses. And Callahan, whatever this is, end it. That girl is chaos. She'll ruin everything we've built. We haven't built anything, Victoria. Our parents built it. We're just living in it. She looks at me for a long moment, and for the first time in years, I see something real in her expression. Not anger, not annoyance, something almost like pity. You're right, she says softly. We haven't. But it's too late to change that now. The invitations are sent. The deposits are paid. Your father has already announced the merger to the board. There's no backing out without destroying both our families. She gets in her car and drives away, leaving me standing alone on a cold street corner in South Boston, my perfect life cracking at the seams. I should go home. I should let Rowan go. I should be the responsible adult everyone expects me to be. Instead, I walk back into Finnegan's. The bartender stops me at the entrance. She doesn't want to see you. I know, but I need to talk to her anyway. You need to leave her alone. The blonde appears at his shoulder, protective and fierce. You've done enough damage. Please, just 5 minutes. Then I'll go and never come back. They exchange a look. The bartender sighs like he's making a huge mistake. 5 minutes, and if she tells you to leave, you leave. No arguments. I nod and make my way to the corner booth. Rowan is staring at her beer bottle like it holds the secrets of the universe. She doesn't look up when I sit down across from her. Your 5 minutes starts now, she says flatly. I'm sorry. For what? For tracking me down? For bringing your Ice Queen fiancé into my life? For making me think for one stupid second that maybe... She stops, shaking her head. Doesn't matter. Clock's ticking. She told me to sleep with you. To get it out of my system before the wedding. That makes Rowan look up. What? That's what she said. She doesn't care what I do as long as it's discreet and doesn't cause a scandal. The words taste like poison. That's my relationship. That's my life. Rowan's expression softens slightly. That's really fucked up. Yeah, it is. But you're still going through with it. It's not a question. It's a statement, an accusation, a challenge. I don't know, I say, and it's the most honest thing I've said in years. You don't know? She leans forward. There are 250 people coming to your wedding in 3 weeks. There's a merger riding on it. Your entire future is planned out, and you don't know? Not anymore. Not since you kissed me. Don't put that on me. I'm not. I'm just telling you the truth. For the first time in my life, I don't know what I want, and it's terrifying, and it's your fault. I meet her eyes, and I'm not sorry about it. The jukebox switches songs. The Smiths. There is a light that never goes out. Rowan takes a long drink of her beer. When she sets it down, she's almost smiling. You're an idiot. Probably. A rich, privileged idiot who's about to blow up his life over a girl he doesn't even know. Definitely. Your fiancé is right about me. I am chaos. I am a scandal waiting to happen. I will ruin everything. I know. She studies me for a long moment. Why are you really here, Callahan? Because I can't stop thinking about you. Because that kiss felt more real than anything in my life. Because when I'm with you, I feel like I can breathe for the first time. I pause. And because I need to know if you felt it too. The silence stretches between us, loaded with possibility. Finally, Rowan speaks. I felt it. 2 words, 3 syllables. Everything changes. My ex didn't even notice the kiss, she continues quietly. He was too busy with his new girlfriend. I used you for nothing. And then I spent 5 days trying to forget you existed. So yeah, I felt it. And I hate that I did. Why? Because you're engaged. Because this is impossible. Because... She stops, frustrated. Because I don't do this. I don't fall for unavailable guys. I don't get involved in other people's drama. I learned that lesson the hard way. Your ex? Not your business. Your 4 minutes are almost up. Then tell me what happens next. Nothing happens next. You go home. You marry your ice queen. You live your predetermined life. And I forget this conversation ever happened. And if I don't want that? Rowan stands up, grabbing her jacket. Then you figure out what you do want before you drag me any deeper into this mess. I'm not going to be your excuse to run away from your problems. And I'm sure as hell not going to be the other woman in some arranged marriage soap opera. She drops a 20 on the table and heads for the back exit. This time, I don't follow her. But as I sit alone in the booth, surrounded by the noise and life of Finnegan's, I realize something important. For the first time in my predictable, controlled, perfectly planned life, I have absolutely no idea what I'm going to do next. And it feels like freedom. My father's office smells like leather, whiskey, and disappointed expectations. It's Tuesday morning, exactly 1 week after the kiss that changed everything. And I'm sitting across from William Callahan III while he explains all the ways I'm about to destroy our family legacy. The Henderson merger is worth $300 million. His voice is calm, controlled, deadly. $300 million that evaporates if this wedding doesn't happen. Do you understand what that means? I understand the numbers, Dad. Do you? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're willing to throw it all away for some girl you met at a party. He slides a manila folder across his desk. Yes, I know about her. Did you really think Victoria wouldn't tell me? I open the folder. Inside are photos of me and Rowan outside Finnegan's. Someone was watching us. Someone was documenting everything. Victoria had you followed? Victoria is protecting her interests, as she should. He stands, walking to the window overlooking Boston Harbor. The Hendersons have been our partners for 40 years. This merger, this marriage, it's not just about business. It's about family, legacy, honor. What about love? He actually laughs. Love. Your mother and I had an arranged marriage too. We learned to respect each other. To build something together. Love is what happens when you commit to the work, not some fairy tale feeling you get from kissing strangers. Mom left you. The words hang in the air like smoke. My father's jaw tightens, the only crack in his armor. Your mother had her reasons. That's not relevant to this discussion. Isn't it? You're telling me to commit to a loveless marriage when yours ended in divorce. When Mom moved to Paris just to get away from you. When she stopped taking your calls 3 years ago. Enough. His voice is sharp now, angry. You will marry Victoria Henderson in 3 weeks. You will fulfill your obligations. Or you can walk away from this company, this family, and this life. Your choice. An ultimatum. I should have seen it coming. You disown me? I'd let you make your own way in the world. See how far you get without the Callahan name, the trust fund, the connections. He turns to face me. That girl you're so infatuated with? She won't want you when you're nobody. When you can't afford to take her to nice restaurants or impress her with expensive gestures. She'll disappear just like she did after that kiss. You don't know her. I don't need to. I know her type. I know how this story ends. He sits back down, suddenly looking older, tired. I'm not trying to be cruel, son. I'm trying to save you from making the biggest mistake of your life. I stand up. Maybe the biggest mistake would be not making it. I leave before he can respond, my hands shaking as I walk through the executive floor. Colleagues stare. They know. Of course they know. In our world, secrets don't exist. Only scandals. My phone has 17 missed calls. Victoria, her mother, the wedding planner, my younger sister Emma, who's supposed to be studying abroad in London, but apparently has heard about my crisis. I ignore them all and drive. I don't realize where I'm going until I'm parked outside a brownstone in Southend, looking up at a second-floor window where I can see movement behind curtains. Rowan's apartment. According to the dossier I still feel guilty about having, she should be home editing photos. This is stalking. This is wrong. This is... The front door opens, and Rowan appears, carrying a camera bag and wearing paint-stained overalls. She stops dead when she sees me leaning against my Mercedes. You've got to be kidding me. But there's no real anger in her voice, more like resignation. How did you even know I'd be home? Lucky guess. Bullshit. You had me investigated, didn't you? She walks down the steps. God, you rich people are all the same. No boundaries, no shame, no. My father gave me an ultimatum this morning. Marry Victoria, or lose everything. That stops her. Everything. The company, the trust fund, my family name, everything I've ever known. I laugh, but it sounds hollow. He said you wouldn't want me if I was nobody. Rowan sets down her camera bag. We're standing 3 feet apart on a sunny Tuesday morning, and I can see the war happening behind her eyes. He's probably right, she says quietly. The words hit harder than I expected. Oh, not because of the money, you idiot. Because if you blow up your entire life for me, you'll resent me eventually. You'll wake up one day in some shitty apartment working some job you hate, and you'll blame me for everything you lost. She crosses her arms. I've been that person before. The reason someone threw away their future. It doesn't end well. Your ex? My ex was engaged when we met, to his high school sweetheart. He left her for me, and for 6 months it was perfect. Until it wasn't. Until he started looking at me like I was the mistake that cost him everything. Her voice cracks slightly. So no, I won't be that person again, even if it kills me. This is different. How? Because I don't love Victoria. Because this marriage isn't real. Because I step closer, close enough to smell her vanilla perfume. Because what I feel for you is real. Terrifying and inconvenient and completely insane. But real. You don't even know me. Then let me know you. Have coffee with me. Let me take you to dinner. Give me a chance to prove this isn't just some pre-wedding crisis. Your wedding is in 19 days. I know. Your father will disown you. I know. You'll lose everything. I know. I reach out and take her hand. She doesn't pull away. But maybe everything I thought mattered doesn't actually matter at all. Rowan looks down at our joined hands like they're a puzzle she can't solve. This is crazy. Completely. I should say no. You should. My therapist would have a field day with this. That makes me smile. Mine too, if I had one. You should probably get one. She's almost smiling now. Okay, 1 coffee, 1 conversation. Then you go figure out your life without dragging me further into it. Deal. I mean it, Callahan. 1 coffee. I'm not going to be the reason you implode. My name is James, and you're not the reason. You're just the person who made me realize I was already imploding, just in slow motion. She studies me for a long moment. Fine. But I picked the place. And you're buying, since you're still rich for the moment. Where? There's a cafe in Cambridge. They make terrible coffee but amazing pastries. Tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Don't be late. I won't. She picks up her camera bag and starts to walk away, then turns back. James? It's the first time she's used my actual name. It sounds different coming from her. Real. Yeah? Whatever you decide about your wedding, decide it for yourself. Not for me. Not against your father. For yourself. She pauses. And maybe see that therapist. You've got some serious people-pleasing issues. She disappears into the building before I can respond. I stand there for a minute, processing everything. Then my phone rings. Victoria. I answer. Hi. The florist needs a decision on the centerpieces, and your father called me. He said you're having doubts. Her voice is neutral, businesslike. Are you? For the first time in 7 years, I tell her the truth. Yes. Silence on the other end. Long enough that I think she might have hung up. Then we need to talk. Tonight. 7 p.m. My place. Come alone. She hangs up before I can respond. I look up at Rowan's window one more time. The curtain moves, and I catch a glimpse of red hair before it falls back into place. Everything is about to change. I just don't know if it's for better or worse. Victoria's penthouse overlooks the Boston skyline like a throne room overlooking a kingdom. Everything is white marble, chrome, and glass. Sterile perfection that feels more like a museum than a home. I've been here 100 times, but tonight it feels different. Foreign. She's standing by the floor-to-ceiling windows when I arrive, still wearing her work clothes, a navy pantsuit that probably costs more than most people's cars. She doesn't turn around when I enter. Do you want to know why I agreed to this marriage? Her voice is quiet, almost vulnerable. I've never heard her sound like this. Victoria. I was in love once, really stupidly, completely in love. She finally turns to face me. Without her usual armor of makeup and perfect hair, she looks younger, tired, human. His name was Marcus. He was a musician, played guitar in a jazz band in New York. My parents hated him. I stand frozen, unsure where this is going. I was 23, fresh out of Harvard Business School. He was 25, and living in a studio apartment in Brooklyn, barely making rent. She walks to the bar and pours 2 glasses of scotch, handing me one. We were going to run away together. I was going to give up everything, the company, the trust fund, my family, for love. What happened? He got hit by a taxi. Her voice is flat, emotionless. Years of therapy probably taught her how to say it without breaking. Crossing the street to meet me for dinner. I was waiting at the restaurant when I got the call. He died before the ambulance arrived. Jesus, Victoria. I'm so sorry? Everyone was sorry. My parents were sorry, but also relieved. They made sure I understood that this was what happened when you chased foolish dreams instead of honoring your obligations. She takes a long drink. So I came back, took my position at the company, agreed to this marriage, became the person everyone expected me to be. Why are you telling me this? Because I see you making the same choice I almost made, and I need you to understand something. She sets down her glass. That girl, Rowan, she makes you feel alive, like anything is possible, like you could be someone different, someone free. She does. Marcus made me feel that way too, and losing him nearly destroyed me. Her eyes meet mine, and for the first time, I see the real Victoria beneath the ice. So I'm going to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Can you live with yourself if something happens to her? If your choice to blow up both our families, to walk away from everything, ends up hurting her? The question hits like a punch to the gut. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Callahan. That's the point. She walks closer. Your father will come after her if you leave. He'll destroy her career, her reputation, everything. My family will too. They'll make sure everyone knows she's the homewrecker who ruined the Henderson-Callahan merger. She'll be toxic in this city. I won't let that happen. You won't be able to stop it. You'll be broke, disowned, powerless. And she'll pay the price for choosing you. Victoria's voice softens. Is that love, James? Putting someone in the crosshairs like that? I sink onto her pristine white couch, the weight of reality crushing me. So what? I just give up, marry you, and spend the rest of my life wondering what could have been? Or you could marry me, and we could make it work, really work. She sits beside me, closer than she's been in months. I'm not asking you to love me. I stopped believing in that fairy tale when Marcus died. But we could be partners, friends even. We understand each other's world. We want the same things. We don't want the same things, don't we? Security, success, a life without chaos. She pauses. Look, I know about my mother having you followed. I know about the photos. I also know that part of you is terrified of what choosing Rowan actually means. She's right. And I hate that she's right. I'm going to make you an offer, Victoria continues. Go to your coffee date tomorrow. Talk to her. Really talk to her. Then come to the venue walk-through at noon. If you can look me in the eye after spending time with her and tell me you're ready to lose everything, your family, your career, your entire life, then I'll call off the wedding myself. You would do that. I'm not a monster, James. I'm just someone who learned the hard way that love doesn't conquer all. Sometimes it just conquers you. She stands up. But I need you to be sure. Because if we go through with this wedding, I need a partner who's committed. Not someone who's going to spend our marriage pining after the one who got away. My phone buzzes. A text from Rowan. Still on for coffee? Or did you chicken out? I show Victoria the screen. She actually smiles, sad and knowing. She's funny. I can see why you like her. She walks back to the window. Go. Have your coffee. Figure out what you really want. Just remember that every choice has consequences, and sometimes the brave thing isn't running towards something new. Sometimes it's honoring your commitments even when they're hard. I stand to leave, then pause at the door. Did you ever regret it? Coming back? Doing what your parents wanted? Victoria is silent for a long moment, her reflection ghostly in the window glass. Every single day, she whispers, but at least I'm alive to regret it. Marcus didn't get that choice. I leave her there, silhouetted against the Boston skyline, a cautionary tale in couture. The drive home is a blur. My mind is spinning with everything she said. Is she right? Am I being selfish? Will my choice to chase this feeling with Rowan end up destroying her? When I get to my apartment, there's a package waiting outside my door. No return address. Inside is a single photograph, one of the shots from Rowan's Instagram, a black and white image of a couple kissing in the rain, their faces obscured, but the emotion palpable. On the back, in handwriting I'm starting to recognize, she's written, "Sometimes the shot you didn't plan is the one that changes everything." I prop it against my nightstand and stare at it for hours, unable to sleep. Tomorrow I'll have coffee with Rowan. Tomorrow I'll hear her laugh and see her eyes light up and feel that electricity that makes me forget my own name. Tomorrow I'll have to decide if that feeling is worth the price. At 3 a.m., my phone rings. It's my sister Emma, calling from London. "You're really going to do it, aren't you?" She sounds excited, proud even. "You're going to call off the wedding?" "I don't know yet." "James, I've watched you die slowly for 7 years. This is the first time you've sounded alive in forever. Please don't let Dad and his stupid legacy kill that." "It's not that simple, Em." "It is, though. You just don't want it to be." She pauses. "Mom called me. She heard about everything. She said to tell you that her biggest regret wasn't leaving Dad. It was not leaving him sooner." After we hang up, I open my laptop and draft an email I'll probably never send. But writing it helps clarify something important. "Dear Dad, you asked me to choose between the life you planned for me and the life I want. You meant it as an ultimatum, but you accidentally gave me the greatest gift, permission to choose. Thank you for that. James." I delete it without sending. But the act of writing it changes something. 7 a.m. arrives too fast and too slow. I shower, dress in jeans instead of a suit for the first time in months, and drive to Cambridge. The cafe Rowan mentioned is tucked between a bookstore and a vintage record shop. Through the window I can already see her sitting at a corner table, wearing a green sweater that matches her eyes, her red hair loose around her shoulders. She looks up as I approach, and her smile could light up the entire city. This is the moment, the choice, the point of no return. I open the door and walk inside. The cafe smells like cinnamon and possibility. Rowan has already ordered a latte with some kind of elaborate foam art that she's photographing with her phone when I slide into the seat across from her. "Let me guess," she says without looking up. "You're a black coffee guy. No sugar, no cream, nothing interesting." Actually, I have no idea what I like. Victoria always orders for me. That makes her look up. Seriously, 7 years of someone else deciding what I drink, what I eat, what I wear. I flag down the waiter. "What's the sweetest, most ridiculous thing you have?" Caramel macchiato with extra whipped cream and chocolate drizzle?" "Perfect. I'll have that." Rowan's smile is genuine, surprised. "Look at you, Rebel." Baby steps. I settle into the chair. "So, terrible coffee but amazing pastries." "The best." She pushes a plate toward me. Some kind of chocolate croissant that looks like it could cause a religious experience. I come here when I need to think. When the world gets too loud and I need somewhere quiet to just be. I take a bite. It's heaven. "Okay, you weren't lying about the pastries." I never lie about food. Everything else is negotiable, but never food. She's playing with her coffee cup, not quite meeting my eyes. "So, James Callahan, tell me something real. Not the rehearsed bio from your company website. Something true." "I'm terrified." "Of what?" "Everything. This conversation. The choice I have to make. The fact that I've spent 32 years being exactly who everyone expected me to be, and I have no idea who I actually am underneath it all." The words spill out before I can stop them. "My father thinks you'll leave me when the money's gone. Victoria thinks I'll end up resenting you, and the scary part is, I don't know if they're wrong." Rowan is quiet for a moment, studying me with those sharp green eyes. "Your turn to ask me something. Why did you really kiss me that night?" "Honestly, because my ex was there with his new girlfriend, the one he left me for after he left his fiancée for me, and I wanted to prove I was over it, over him, that I'd moved on to someone successful and put together and everything he wasn't." She laughs bitterly. "Joke's on me, though. The successful, put-together guy turned out to be the most complicated person I've ever met." "His loss." "Is it? Because from where I'm sitting, I'm the common denominator, the homewrecker, the chaos bomb that destroys relationships." She tears off a piece of croissant. "My therapist says I self-sabotage, that I pick unavailable people because I'm afraid of real intimacy. And here I am, doing it again with you. I'm working on becoming available." "Are you? Because last I checked, you have a wedding in 18 days. 18 days, James. That's not a lot of time to completely blow up your life." My ridiculous drink arrives and I take a sip. It's way too sweet, almost cloying, but I drink it anyway because it's my choice. "Tell me about your photography," I say, changing the subject. "Why black and white?" She looks surprised by the question. "Because color lies. It distracts. But in black and white, you see the truth, the shadows, the light, the emotion underneath." She pulls out her phone, showing me her portfolio. "This is what I love, capturing the moments people don't plan, the real stuff." The images are stunning. A kid laughing in the rain, an elderly couple holding hands on a bench, a street musician lost in his music. Each one tells a story, raw and honest. "You're really talented." "Thanks. Doesn't pay much, but it makes me happy." "Which is apparently revolutionary in your world." "It is, actually." I'm looking at a photo of a bride crying before her wedding. Not sad tears, but overwhelmed, terrified tears. "Do you ever photograph weddings?" "Sometimes. Though I prefer to shoot the moments they don't put in the albums. The flower girl having a meltdown, the groom's face when he thinks no one's watching, the truth behind the perfect pictures." "Would you photograph mine?" The question surprises us both. Rowan sets down her phone. "Why would you want me there?" "Because if I go through with it, I want someone to document the truth. What it really looks like when someone makes a choice they're not sure about. And if I don't, I pause. I want you to see what I'm walking away from, so you understand what it costs. That's incredibly morbid. Or honest. She's about to respond when the cafe door opens and a man walks in. Tall, scruffy beard, wearing a leather jacket that's seen better days. The moment Rowan sees him, her entire body goes rigid. "Shit," she whispers. "That's him. That's Dylan. The ex, the musician, the reason she kissed me in the first place." He spots her immediately, and his face lights up in a way that makes my stomach twist. He walks over before either of us can escape. "Rowan, wow, I didn't know you came here." His eyes flick to me, sizing me up. "Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt." "You're not interrupting," Rowan says, but her voice is tight. "Dylan, this is James. James, Dylan." We shake hands. His grip is firm, challenging. Up close, I can see why she fell for him. There's something magnetic about him, an easy confidence that I've never possessed. "The suit from the gala," Dylan says, recognition dawning. "The guy she kissed. Man, that was brutal. Jessa was furious." "Jessa's your girlfriend?" I ask. "Ex-girlfriend. We broke up 2 weeks ago. Turns out she was only with me to make her ex jealous." He laughs, oblivious to the irony. Funny how that works out. Rowan is staring at her coffee like it holds the secrets of the universe. "So you're single now?" I say flatly. "Yeah. Actually, Ro, that's kind of why I was hoping to run into you. I know I screwed things up between us, but I've been thinking." "Don't." Rowan's voice is sharp. "Whatever you're about to say, don't. I made a mistake. Leaving you was the biggest mistake of my life. I've spent 6 months trying to figure out how to tell you. You left your fiancée for me, then left me for her. You don't get to come back now that she's gone too." She stands up, grabbing her camera bag. "I'm not your backup plan, Dylan. I'm not anyone's backup plan anymore." She walks out, leaving her half-finished latte and me sitting across from her ex-boyfriend. Dylan looks genuinely devastated. I really did love her, you know. I got scared. She was so intense, so all in, and I panicked. "Then you're an idiot." "Yeah, I'm starting to realize that." He studies me. "You love her too, don't you? Even though you're engaged to someone else." The accuracy of his observation is startling. "It's complicated. It always is. But here's some free advice from someone who learned it the hard way. If you're lucky enough to find someone who makes you feel alive, don't let fear or obligation or anything else talk you out of it. Because you'll spend the rest of your life regretting it." He leaves cash on the table and walks out, leaving me alone with the wreckage of our coffee date. I find Rowan outside, leaning against a brick wall, breathing hard like she's trying not to cry. "I'm sorry," I say. "That was perfect timing." "Yeah. The universe has a sick sense of humor." She wipes at her eyes angrily. "He wants me back. After everything, he just waltzes in and wants me back. What are you going to do?" "Nothing. I'm not going back to him. I learned that lesson." She looks at me. But it made me realize something. I can't be your Rowan while you're still Victoria's James. I can't be the person you're exploring your feelings with while you're engaged to someone else. It's not fair to any of us. So what are you saying? I'm saying figure out your life. Cancel the wedding or don't. But leave me out of the decision. Because if you choose me, I need to know it's because you want me, not because you want to escape your life. She starts walking toward her car. When you know what you want, you know where to find me. "Rowan, wait." "I can't, James. I really can't." She turns back one last time. "For what it's worth, I think you're brave. Braver than Dylan ever was. Braver than you give yourself credit for. But brave isn't enough. You have to be sure." She drives away, leaving me standing on a Cambridge sidewalk at 8:30 in the morning, my ridiculous sweet coffee getting cold in my hand. I check my phone. Victoria's venue walkthrough is in 3.5 hours, 18 days until the wedding. I get in my car and drive toward the one place I never thought I'd go, my mother's house. It's time to talk to the only person who might actually understand what I'm going through. My mother's house is in Beacon Hill, a charming brownstone that's the complete opposite of my father's sterile penthouse. There are plants everywhere, art on every wall, books stacked in comfortable chaos. It looks lived in, loved. She opens the door in paint-stained jeans and an oversized sweater, her gray-streaked hair pulled back in a messy bun. At 58, Catherine Callahan looks more alive than she did in 20 years of marriage to my father. James. She pulls me into a hug that smells like lavender and turpentine. Emma called, said you might need to talk. I shouldn't have come unannounced. Nonsense. Come in. I just made coffee. Real coffee, not whatever corporate sludge your father drinks. Her kitchen is warm and cluttered. Nothing like the pristine spaces I'm used to. She pours 2 mugs and we sit at a table covered in sketches. She's taken up painting since the divorce. So, she says gently, tell me about her. How do you know it's about a girl? Because that's the only thing that makes men look the way you look right now, terrified and hopeful at the same time. She smiles. I looked that way once too. When you met Dad? God, no. When I met someone else. She sees my shock and laughs. Not an affair. This was years before I married your father. I was 23, working at an art gallery in New York. He was a sculptor, Portuguese, terrible English, the most beautiful hands I'd ever seen. I've never heard this story. In 32 years, she's never mentioned him. His name was Raphael. We had 6 months together before his visa expired. He wanted me to come back to Lisbon with him. I wanted to go so badly it physically hurt. She stares into her coffee. But my parents had already arranged my marriage to your father. The families were merging their businesses. It was all planned out. So you chose Dad. I chose obligation, duty, the safe path. She looks at me with eyes that have seen too much regret. And I spent 30 years wondering what my life would have looked like if I'd gotten on that plane to Lisbon. Do you regret it? I regret not having the courage to choose myself. I regret letting other people decide my life. But I don't regret you and Emma. You two were the only good things to come from that marriage. She reaches across the table and takes my hand. But James, you're not me. You still have time to choose differently. Dad will disown me. The merger will fall apart. Victoria's family will be ruined. And, will that kill you? Will it end the world? She squeezes my hand. Your father disowned me when I filed for divorce. Cut me off completely. Said I was destroying the family legacy. You know what I discovered? I didn't need his money. I didn't need his name. I needed my freedom more than I needed any of it. But you had your trust fund. Your inheritance, which I gave up in the divorce settlement. All of it. I walked away with nothing except my clothes and my dignity. She gestures around the kitchen. I rent this place. I sell paintings at local galleries. I teach art classes to kids. I make maybe $40,000 a year. And James, I'm happier now than I ever was in that mansion with your father. The revelation stuns me. All these years, I assumed she was living off divorce money. Why didn't you tell us? Because I didn't want you to feel guilty. I didn't want Emma to think her mother was struggling. But I'm not struggling. I'm living. She stands up and walks to the window. I wake up every morning and make choices that are mine. I paint what I want to paint. I see who I want to see. I'm free, James. Actually, genuinely free. Dad said Rowan won't want me if I'm nobody. Your father thinks money is the only thing that makes a person valuable. It's why he's so miserable. She turns back to me. But let me ask you something. When you're with this girl, do you feel like yourself? Or do you feel like you have to be someone you're not? I think about the cafe this morning. The ridiculous sweet drink. Rowan's laugh. The way she called me out on my bullshit. I feel like I could be myself if I knew who that was. Then she's already given you a gift, the permission to find out. Mom sits back down. Here's what I know about love, real love. It doesn't ask you to be smaller. It doesn't ask you to give up who you are. It asks you to be brave enough to become who you were always meant to be. My phone buzzes. Victoria, where are you? Venue walkthrough starts in 30 minutes. I look at my mother. What if I make the wrong choice? Then you'll learn from it and make a different choice next time. That's the beauty of choosing for yourself. Even your mistakes are yours. She covers my phone with her hand. But staying in a loveless marriage out of fear? That's not a mistake you can learn from. That's a prison sentence. I think about Victoria in her penthouse, still mourning Marcus after all these years. I think about my father, bitter and alone in his success. I think about Rowan telling me to be sure. And suddenly, I am sure. I need to go, I say, standing up. To the venue walkthrough? To cancel it. Mom's smile could light up the entire city. She hugs me tight. I'm proud of you. So proud. Even if I lose everything? Especially then, because it means you'll have found yourself. I drive to the venue, an old mansion in Newton that's been converted into an event space. Victoria's car is already there, along with the wedding planner's van, and what looks like my father's Mercedes. Of course he's here. Of course this won't be easy. I walk in to find them all in the ballroom. Victoria, her mother, the wedding planner, and my father, looking like a tribunal. Victoria sees me first, and something in my expression must give it away because her face falls. You're ending it, she says. Not a question, a statement. I have to. Her mother gasps. The wedding planner looks like she might faint. My father's face goes red. You ungrateful, he starts, but Victoria holds up a hand. Don't. She looks at me, really looks at me, and I see understanding in her eyes, maybe even relief. It's okay. It's not okay, her mother shrieks. The invitations are sent. The deposits are paid. Mom, stop. Victoria's voice is firm. Look at him. Really look at him. Would you want your daughter married to someone who looks like that? Someone who's already gone? My father steps forward. James, if you walk out that door, you're not my son. You're not a Callahan. You'll have nothing. I know. My voice is steady. And I'm okay with that. You'll regret this. Maybe. But at least it'll be my regret. Victoria walks over to me, and for the first time in 7 years, she kisses me on the cheek like she means it. Go get her. And be happy. One of us should be. Victoria. Go. Before I change my mind and convince you this is insane. I look at my father one last time. He's staring at me like I'm a stranger. Maybe I am. Maybe I always was, and we're both just now realizing it. I walk out into the bright November sunshine and call Rowan. It goes to voicemail. Hey, it's me, James. I canceled the wedding, walked away from everything. My father, the company, all of it. And I know you said to figure it out without you. But I need you to know. I didn't do this for you. I did this for me. Because you were right. I need to know who I am before I can be with anyone. I pause. But I'm hoping that once I figure it out, you'll still be there. Because I think... No, I know. You're the person I want to figure it out with. I hang up and sit in my car, my hands shaking with adrenaline and terror and something that might be joy. My phone rings, unknown number. Hello? Mr. Callahan, this is Cambridge General Hospital. We have a Rowan Delaney here. She was in a car accident. You're listed as her emergency contact. Can you come right away? The world stops. I'm on my way. The hospital smells like antiseptic and fear. I run through the emergency room doors like a madman, still in the clothes I wore to cancel my wedding, my heart pounding so hard I think it might explode. Rowan Delaney, I gasp at the reception desk. Car accident. I got a call. Room 347, third floor. She's stable. Stable. The word is oxygen. I take the stairs 2 at a time because waiting for the elevator feels impossible. I find her in a small room, sitting up in bed with a bandage on her forehead and a split lip, arguing with a nurse about discharge papers. I'm fine. It was just a fender bender. I don't need to stay. She sees me and stops mid-sentence. James, you're alive. It's all I can say. You're alive. Of course I'm alive. Some idiot ran a red light and clipped my bumper. I hit my head on the steering wheel, but She stops, seeing my face. James, are you crying? I am. I'm standing in this sterile hospital room, crying like an idiot, because for 10 minutes I thought I'd lost her before I ever really had her. I canceled the wedding, I say through tears I can't control. I walked away from everything. And then they called and said you were here, and I thought I'd waited too long, that I'd figured it out too late. The nurse quietly excuses herself, probably sensing she's in the middle of something private. Rowan stares at me, her green eyes wide. You canceled the wedding. An hour ago. My father disowned me. Victoria was actually pretty cool about it. The wedding planner might need therapy, but I did it. I moved closer to the bed. Because you were right, I had to choose for myself, not for you or against my father, or for any reason except that it was the right thing to do. James, and I know you said to figure out my life without dragging you into it. I'm trying. I don't have a plan yet. I don't know what I'm going to do for work, or where I'm going to live, or who I am without the Callahan name. But I know. My voice breaks. I know I want to figure it out. And I know that when I imagine my life 6 months from now, a year from now, you're in it. Not because I need you to save me, but because you make me want to save myself. She's crying now too, tears streaming down her face, mixing with the blood from her split lip. Why am I your emergency contact? I ask suddenly. We barely know each other. I changed it this morning, after the cafe, after Dylan showed up. She wipes at her eyes. I realized something when I saw him. I didn't feel anything. No anger, no longing, nothing. But when I looked at you, I felt everything. And it terrified me so much that I added you to my phone as my emergency contact, like a test. Like the universe was going to prove I was wrong to feel this way about someone I just met. And then I got hit by a car, and they called you, and now you're here, crying in a hospital room, telling me you blew up your entire life. She laughs through tears. So I guess the universe has a sense of humor after all. I sit on the edge of her bed, careful not to hurt her. I don't have anything to offer you. No trust fund, no company, no mansion. Just me. And I'm not even sure who that is yet. Good. Because I don't want trust fund James. I want the guy who ordered that ridiculous sweet drink. The guy who's brave enough to choose himself even when it's terrifying. The guy who's sitting in a hospital room crying because he thought he lost someone he barely knows. She takes my hand. I want to figure out who you are too, if you'll let me. I love you. The words come out before I can stop them. I know it's too soon and too crazy and completely insane, but I love you, not the idea of you, not what you represent, you. The chaos and the camera and the way you see the world. I love you. You don't even know me. Then let me spend the rest of my life learning. Rowan pulls me closer and kisses me, carefully because of her split lip, and it's nothing like the kiss at the gala. That was performance. This is real. This is choice. This is everything. I love you too, she whispers against my mouth. Even though you're a disaster and you're going to need so much therapy and you still dress like a corporate robot. I'm working on that last part. Good. Because we're going to my apartment after they discharge me, and you're never wearing a tie again unless absolutely necessary. Deal. 6 months later, I'm standing in a tiny studio apartment in South End that I share with Rowan and approximately 3 million of her photography prints. I'm wearing jeans and a faded t-shirt, making coffee in a kitchen the size of a closet. and I've never been happier. I got a job at a small nonprofit that helps underprivileged kids access education. The pay is terrible compared to what I made at my father's company, but I actually believe in the work. My boss is a 50-year-old woman named Rita, who calls me college boy and makes me feel more valued than my father ever did. Emma visits from London once a month. My mother has Sunday dinners with us every week. Victoria sent a wedding gift, a photograph of us at the gala, the moment before everything changed, with a note that said, "Thank you for being brave enough for both of us." My father hasn't spoken to me since that day at the venue. Maybe he never will. It hurts less than I thought it would. Rowan walks out of the bedroom in one of my old shirts, her hair a mess, looking absolutely perfect. Coffee ready? Almost. I made it too sweet again. You're learning. And she wraps her arms around me from behind. Dylan texted me yesterday. He's moving to Portland with some new girlfriend. Wanted to wish me well. How do you feel about that? Nothing. Happy for him, I guess. Mostly just grateful. She kisses my shoulder. He led me to you, in a weird way, so I can't be too mad about the rest. I turn in her arms. No regrets? About us? Never. About the fact that you still can't work the washing machine? Many regrets. I'm a work in progress. You're my work in progress. She grins. And speaking of works in progress, I have news. Remember that gallery that looked at my portfolio? The one in New York? They want to give me a show, 6 months from now, my own exhibition. Her eyes are shining. It's not going to make me rich, but James, it's happening. My dream is actually happening. I pick her up and spin her around, both of us laughing in our tiny kitchen with the terrible lighting and the neighbor's music bleeding through the walls. This is my life now. Small apartment, non-profit work, a girlfriend who challenges me every day. No trust fund, no family company, no carefully planned future. Just choice, just love, just us. And it's more than enough. It's everything. 2 years later, the gallery is packed. Rowan's second exhibition in New York is called Unplanned Moments, and every photograph tells a story of spontaneity, chaos, and unexpected beauty. I'm standing in front of my favorite piece, a black and white shot of a man ordering coffee, his expression caught between terror and hope. You can't see his face clearly, but I know it's me, that morning in Cambridge, the day everything changed. Still your favorite? Rowan appears at my elbow, wearing a green dress that matches her eyes and the small diamond ring on her left finger. We got engaged 3 months ago in the most unromantic way possible, in our kitchen at 2 a.m., eating leftover Chinese food, when I just blurted it out, because I couldn't imagine my life any other way. Always, I say, pulling her close. Mr. Callahan. Rita from the nonprofit waves from across the gallery. She's here with her family, proud as a mother hen. I got promoted to program director last year. The pay still isn't great, but I'm helping to change lives, including my own. Emma rushes over, 7 months pregnant and glowing. Ro, this is incredible. The Times reviewer was just here. She loved it. Really? Rowan's trying to play it cool, but I can feel her trembling with excitement. Really? You're going to be famous, sister-in-law. The title still makes both of us smile. We're getting married in the fall, small ceremony. My mother's garden, no seating charts. James, the voice makes me freeze. I turn to find my father standing near the entrance, looking older and somehow smaller than I remember. We haven't spoken in 2 years. Dad. Rowan squeezes my hand once, then steps away to give us space, but stays close enough to intervene if needed. My protector. Your mother told me about the exhibition. I wanted to see what you've been doing. He looks around the gallery, at the photos, at the happy crowd, at me in my jeans and casual blazer. You look well. I am well. I heard you're getting married. In October. He nods, his jaw working like he's trying to decide what to say next. Finally, I was wrong about you. about what makes a life worth living. Your mother tried to tell me, but He stops. I'd like to come to the wedding, if you'll have me. The old James would have said yes immediately, desperate for approval. The new James takes a moment to feel what he actually feels. I'd like that, I say honestly, but only if you can accept this, who I am now, who we are. I gesture toward Rowan, who's pretending not to watch us while absolutely watching us. She's the one from the gala, the girl the woman I love, the woman I'm going to marry, the woman who saved my life. My father looks at Rowan for a long moment, then back at me. Then I suppose I owe her a debt of gratitude. It's not a declaration of unconditional love. It's not a Hollywood reconciliation. But it's a start. And sometimes, a start is enough. He stays for 20 minutes, awkward and formal, but he stays. He looks at Rowan's photographs. He meets Emma's husband. He shakes hands with Rita. And when he leaves, he hugs me, brief and uncomfortable, but real. That was huge, Rowan says when he's gone. Yeah. You okay? Better than okay. I kiss her forehead. I have everything I need right here. Victoria arrives just before closing, arm in arm with a woman I don't recognize. Shorter, curvier, with kind eyes and an infectious laugh. James, Rowan, this is Melissa, my girlfriend. Girlfriend? I can't hide my surprise. Turns out canceling that wedding was the best thing that happened to both of us. Victoria smiles, genuinely happy in a way I never saw during our 7 years together. Thank you for being brave enough to end it. Thank you for letting me go. The four of us talk until the gallery closes, sharing stories and laughter like old friends instead of former almost spouses. Later, back in our apartment, we upgraded to a 2-bedroom last year. Rowan and I collapse on the couch, exhausted, but happy. Successful night? I ask. The most successful. She curls into my side. Sold 12 pieces. Got a Times review. Watched you make peace with your father. Saw Victoria genuinely happy. This day was perfect. Not quite perfect yet. No! I pull out my phone and show her the screen. It's an email from the adoption agency we applied to 3 months ago. We're approved. We're going to be parents. Rowan reads it once, twice, then bursts into tears. Happy tears. The best kind. We're going to be parents, she whispers. We're going to be parents. We sit there in our imperfect apartment, in our imperfect life, perfectly happy. Because 2 years ago, I walked into a gala expecting another boring evening in my predetermined life. Instead, a red-haired photographer with chaos in her eyes kissed me to make her ex jealous and accidentally set me free. Best mistake anyone ever made. And the really beautiful part? I'd do it all again. The fear, the loss, the uncertainty, every single moment. Because it led me here. To her. To us. To home. The end.